to that name, Congressman Jacobs. The CARES Act funding, you've probably already seen in the media. We had a little bit of a heads up on this, and Legislator Mills certainly touched base on this. You know, the federal government right now does not look like we're receiving any funding at the local level for local governments. You know, my comment earlier with money that was sent to the state not being passed down to this county, the county level or the towns, cities, and villages, that affects all of us. It affects all of us as taxpayers, not just me as a town supervisor, not us as a board, but that's a direct hit, especially when there's lost sales tax revenue and other losses, you know, court revenue funds and all. Obviously, this board has our work cut out for us, just like every other town board across our state right now with state budget deficits. You know, we'll get through this. I think you know, we've battened down the hatches. You know, we can probably make some additional changes here. But right now, I think the town of Boston is in a pretty good position right now to hopefully weather the storm. Nobody knows how long it's going to last, but we'll keep doing what we need to do to take good care of the public. But that was really about the biggest takeaway from the Congressman Reed call was essentially that funding was probably not going to be happening. So unfortunate as that is. September 21st, I sit on the Rural Transit Advisory Board. We passed their budget. The two vans that were discussed at the last board meeting, one was from Concord, one was from Orchard Park. So both those vans went out on auction, but we did approve their budget. They did a really great job there. But the Rural Transit van is something that will be out and placed out on, you know, they'll be seeking some additional funding, and they also rely on volunteers. So if anyone in the community is looking to volunteer and feels comfortable doing so, Rural Transit is looking for volunteers for their services. The Household Hazardous Waste event on October 31st here in the town of Boston, something that myself and the Nest group are putting on. That actually filled up in 1 week. Very happy to say that. Concord, it took them about 2.5 weeks to fill that event up. So unfortunately, while that is full, you know, we are trying to schedule yet another event, maybe this year, but it's probably going to be the early part of next year, and so more information to be followed up on that topic. Drainage, Councilwoman Selby and I, we had a drainage meeting a couple weeks ago. This is part of the drainage plan that the town board has been working on to address drainage issues across the town. I do encourage residents, as I always have, if you have a drainage problem, please reach out to us. Not that we will always have an immediate answer. Some things might take some time and some work, but we are trying to identify key areas and trying to find out where we can either work on funding, partner with Erie County Soil and Water, which gives the town the ability to collaborate and work on multiple parcels to address drainage problems across the town of Boston, which is 2 hills and a valley. CDBG I already touched base on, but I'm really hopeful that will go through. Water One does need a lot of work this year. The town board and I, we've been discussing Water One for a while now. It needs quite a bit of work. We have infrastructure over 30 years old, and you know, there's sadly a hefty price tag that comes along with that. So it's a lot of money that goes into the ground. It's not a beautiful new building. It's not something that's like a fun park for the kids to play on. But when we wake up every morning, we want to take a shower, we want to brush our teeth, you know, flush the toilet. That water is crucial, and Water One is. For our town, it's critical. Without Water One, none of the other districts have water. So we really need to take some action on Water One. Outside of that, the town board, we went into executive session tonight, just a very high level overview for everyone. We are in the collective bargaining agreement negotiations with the highway department, the highway union. And then, last but not least, I did want to touch base on going back to Erie County Soil and Water. There is potentially a grant opportunity for some residents down on Park Drive that Councilwoman Selby and Mark Aston and I have been working on. So hopefully that will bring some help to those folks if we can secure that grant funding. Outside of that, that is all I have. I know a lot of information, and but with that, I will make a motion to end the meeting at 10 after 8.
Second.
Councilwoman Selby,
Yes.
Councilman Curtis,
Yes.
Supervisor Keating,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lukasik,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin.
Yes.
Motion carried, meeting adjourned.